Pittsburgh, City Commissioner Jeremy Johnson here. Welcome back to Commissioner's Corner. Do you like that intro music? I've got intro music! I got not one, not two, but 3 submissions, and they are all fantastic. And I can't not use them, because how awesome is it that people not only sent me stuff, but they absolutely delivered. So the solution? I'm gonna rotate them. This first song is courtesy of Josh Johnson, who, full disclosure, is also my brother. The video intro is from Jacob Anselmi, who also sent in a song. And thanks also to John Laughlin for his submission. They will all get rotation in future videos, so keep an ear out and let me know what you think. After doing my last video, I liked the format of discussing a single topic more than covering a range of stuff, so I'm gonna stick with that going forward. The topic for today is the city budget, so let's get into it. At last week's City Commission meeting, City Manager Darren Hall and Finance Director Jamie Clarkson presented their proposed budget for the upcoming year. Like any budget, it outlines what money will get spent where, but it also outlines the priorities for the city for the upcoming year. Now, this isn't the final version of the budget. The city manager presents their proposed budget at the commission's first meeting in July, and then commissioners have 2 weeks to talk to their constituents, ask questions of city staff, and basically inform themselves of what the proposed budget entails. Then, at our second meeting in July, the commission makes any amendments to the budget and passes what will be submitted to the public. The public is then notified of this budget through publication in the legal section of the Morning Sun, and a hearing is held at the following commission meeting where anyone who lives in Pittsburgh can come and offer comments on the budget. After the hearing, the commission then votes to adopt the budget, which the city will then follow. Now, if you're a wonky accountant type that wants to read through the whole thing, I've included a link down below. For everyone else, here are the major takeaways. The city will be adding 3 full-time positions to its staff. Now, the most noticeable one of these is the Public Information Director, which is basically the communications officer for the city. This is an important position because right now, city administrators and staff are pinch-hitting doing things like running social media and interfacing with the press. For example, the city's Twitter account is run entirely by City Manager Darren Hall, which kudos to him for being willing to take up that part of city engagement, but holy smokes, he has some higher-order concerns that he tends to. Having a single person whose job it is to communicate to residents what the city is doing will have a profound impact on how the city interacts with residents and will significantly increase the potential for citizen engagement. The city has been talking about hiring such a person for several years, but now we have the funds to do it. Now, perhaps most importantly, the city will be able to create these new positions without the mill levy rate on property taxes increasing this year. This isn't just budgetary voodoo. First, the income to the city from the Kansas Crossing Casino will be incredibly beneficial to the city. Since the casino's opening in April, it has averaged $27,000 every month to the city, since part of the agreement with the casino stipulates that the city, county, and school districts will each receive 1% of gaming revenues. It's possible that they're artificially high at the moment because the casino is still new and attracting business it wouldn't otherwise get. But if revenues remain even above $20,000 a month for the city, that means an additional $250,000 a year, which is about the equivalent of 2 mills of property taxes. Because the city doesn't know for sure what the gaming revenue stream will look like, rather than using it for additional services, those funds are being dedicated solely to build up reserve funds for the city. The city's reserves have steadily been dwindling since, from 2008 to 2015, the commission didn't pass a single tax increase while also not making significant cuts in services. During that same time, costs have steadily and unavoidably been increasing for things like employee health insurance, electricity, and utilities. As a result, as of 2015, the city had less than $1 million in reserves, which is less than half of the recommended amount. Best practices recommend having 2 full months' worth of operating expenses in reserves. In the case of the city of Pittsburgh, that's about $2.2 million. Thanks to the property tax increases of the past 2 years, along with gaming revenues, financial staff estimate that by the end of 2018, the city will be at 90% of this goal. It's because of these increased reserves, as well as flexibility in the budget, which is the result of sound financial planning on the city's part, that the city can hire new positions and keep up with increasing costs without a tax increase or cutting services elsewhere, and still be able to save money for its reserves on top of those things. This kind of financial planning is incredibly important for the city at this moment, since there are a lot of irons in the fire. The Block 22 project will be complete next year, the Mid-City Renaissance project will be moving into its second phase, and the city will be undertaking the first steps to developing its own municipal electric authority. Providing a consistent level of services that deliver a certain quality of life, along with having extra money saved up, will be necessary. Moreover, these projects couldn't even exist without that same planning. Block 22 involved a $1.5 million investment from the city's revolving loan fund, and it's unlikely the city could have spared that amount without such a fund being in place and a group like the Economic Development Advisory Council carefully considering proposed uses for that money. The Mid-City Renaissance project is being funded through an EPA grant, but such a grant isn't given to just anybody. The city got it as a result of being able to show that they are prepared and planning for the future, and that they will be able to act on the plan being created through the grant. This planning does not happen automatically. It is the result of a city commission that is willing to listen to the informed advice of city staff and to put forth a budget that develops and reflects those priorities. Now, in spite of these recommendations, there have actually been a few calls for reducing property taxes in this year's budget. I cannot overstate how dangerous such a move would be, particularly at this moment. Reducing funding would necessarily mean reducing the level of services, as well as hindering the city's ability to save money. Any move to cut services and reserves could very effectively sweep the legs out from under the momentum the city has going right now, and effectively stop the growth Pittsburgh is beginning to see dead in its tracks. Major projects like Block 22 and the Mid-City Renaissance do not come about without serious long-term investment. And if we're going to reap the full benefits of those projects, we need to take them seriously and not only continue to provide Pittsburgh residents with the services and quality of life they've come to expect, but to expand them as we are able. To do otherwise is to foreclose on Pittsburgh's future. So the Commission will hold its budget discussion and ultimately vote on the budget at our next meeting on Tuesday, July 25th. So if you have any questions or thoughts on how we should be proceeding with the city budget, please feel free to reach out to me via my email listed down below. I'm glad to listen to your concerns and talk about the city's priorities, because that is absolutely a conversation that we as a community need to be having if we are to prepare for our future. Until next time, citizens.